brothers and sisters, generals, family, current subscribers, new subscribers. Welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion, where I suggest, teach, and give advice. And I just want to place that gold over our families, my family to your family, anyone that's listening, anybody that view. Like I said, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that's been riding along. I appreciate you, and I place that gold over our families. May all of our families prosper, and everything we touch turn to gold. And those we may have held dear in our families that may have transitioned, may they rest in peace and in power. And I want to bring that Shaka Zulu spirit. I thank Shaka Zulu for paving the way for many brothers and sisters after him. And I salute and honor the warriors, brother or sister, that fought with him, and they didn't have nothing but their heart and their divine spirit, and got many of us, our ancestors, far and near. I told y'all I'd be rhyming. Man, I thank them for getting us here with the least amount of tools. Again, everybody has their own opinion and what they feel or think about our ancestors, but I will cling to our ancestors' spirit, and it's just something that's just my path. Everybody forged their own path as long as we got what? Good in our heart and we mean well, so we can get those righteous things back that so many of us generals out here have put out to the universe. And I salute all teachers, whether in my family or outside my family, in the world or online, because it's a wonderful thing when we can have a teaching spirit, not just on the podium, but even outside the podium, just in life in general, and be able to see things. That's a gift, to be able to see things. Like I said in a recent podcast, the gift of seeing over the horizon, and that's person, place, thing in the world, our personal lives, and we able to break things down and come up with what, brothers and sisters, solutions and ways to maintain ourselves, and to stay above water in this life and pierce through the so-called matrix. And I call it the so-called matrix because that's a way of deflecting discouragement. Never ever let discouragement get into our psyche, brothers and sisters, so we can keep strong thoughts entering our mind and keeping that good energy going up and down our spine. I told y'all I'll be rhyming. It's what I do. And, make sure we eat right, get a lot of rest, pay attention to what we eat. A lot of us are not experts on food and health nuts, but we still can pay attention to how we eat, when we eat, how much we eat, regulate ourselves, listen to our body the best way we can, so we can live to see those great things that so many of us are putting out, in one way or another. Great divine watches over all, as well as that Mother Nature. Those two forces, man, can be everywhere at once. We got to think of that force as very, very high. It's not nothing small, Again, like, let's just flow with me, like my banner here, and elevate. And we're going to fly above the city, and we're going to take our thoughts to that seventh nature, always talking about when things just come natural, like Mother Nature. It's wonderful when we finally do learn about nature, and we can learn a lot about nature. It's wonderful when we get to that space, and animals just move according to life. When we hungry for life, man, it's wonderful, and it'll show. It'll radiate off of us, without even trying. It's wonderful. But of course, we have to do things to maintain, because saying and doing is two different things. We have to do things to maintain our spiritual health, mind, body, and soul. I'm going to say it again. Maintain our spiritual health. And I got 8 ways that I wanted to speak on. Actually, we got to do a whole summary, break things down. It's good to look up things, write, again, like I say, writing and reading gets in our subconscious, just ask questions and don't just be a follower, so to speak. That's why you always hear me say we are leaders and teachers. We are never followers. We ride along with one another. No one's better, just different. That's a wonderful mentality. As far as our mental is good to have, I think, just my opinion, and we see the bright side of things and don't always looking for the negative, because if you look for the negative and all you have is negative thoughts and you're always negative, well, guess what? That's what you're going to pull back from that old universe. So let's pull back positive energy, and go above and beyond our little human bodies. Let's have an out of body experience, so to speak. because it's warrior time. Spiritual battle is no joke, because when you a prisoner of your own mind, that's the worst thing one can do or be, is when you're a prisoner in your own mind. That's why we have to come up with ways, and I'm gonna talk about 8 ways to maintain our spiritual health, mind, body, and soul. An emphasis on the body, because nothing else will work as far as our mind, and spirit is not going to work if we don't keep our body in check. It's very important. That's why I say eating. And that's for me too, because I have to remind myself, eating plays a very important part, how we eat. It plays an important part how we go to the bathroom, how much rest we get. Certain foods can have us sluggish and tired. So, again, it's for me too now. That's why I drink a lot of juice, and cranberry juice and apple juice and orange juice. And I don't drink soda, and I drink things that, that can regulate one's body, and it got vitamin C in it, and get something like I will say I do drink coffee, but I drink it in the morning, but I don't like drink it all day, every day, because I want the natural things to kind of, coffee, I don't know. There's probably a lot of coffee drinkers. I mean, it's some good things about coffee, but again, some bad things. Like I say, you just have to regulate it, and what everybody has their thing, just don't do too much of it, do it in moderation, but just have to do things to keep ourselves healthy. And why do we do these things? So what I always say, folks, what we do righteous in the present will benefit us in the what. You fill in the blank. I say that all the time, and that's what makes it all worth it when we see results in the future in ourselves, our family, our life. It's wonderful. It's not about being this big special person. It's about being as healthy and righteous as we can possibly be. Right, generals, family, brother, or sister? Because who don't want to live a good life? Unless you just half crazy and you want your life complicated. Remember, we can speak things into existence. So be very careful what we speak into existence, whether it's something, I'm talking about negative things. If it's something toward our family, or don't even talk negative toward ourselves ever, and be careful of, things of the world that can sway us and try to discourage us, like some of these platforms some of us are on, especially those that the righteous brother and sister they got real big platforms. It can be challenging to have a big platform. So I salute those that do and are maintaining, because, like I said, I've learned from a lot of teachers, and let me tell you, this so-called matrix is something else. But I'm not going to get too far into that though, but nothing can stop what that great divine has made, or path that has been set. Nothing can stop that, because when you locked into that divine zone, nothing can stop that. I don't care what it is, especially when you have learned about Mother Nature, and man, about principles, and it's just wonderful when you start learning those different things. There's so many things to learn in this life to maintain, but I want to talk about 8 ways to maintain our spiritual health. And let's go, my generals, family, brother, or sister. All right, number 1, connect with your faith. And I'm gonna say knowing, because it's better to know, because knowing will bring faith, but we better know, because, and I'm not talking about knowing everything, but of course, knowing thyself, because when we know ourselves and we're a student of human nature, it'll make things somewhat simple, so to speak. You start seeing things for what they are, and you look for solutions, and you will begin to see why individuals, different things we run into. But I'm talking about people at the moment. You will know why they behave a certain way, and you will learn what to do and what not to do, as well as what to burn our energy on and what not to burn our energy on. So that's when you pay attention to oneself, you'll see different things in everyone else, so to speak. And again, number 1, remember, it's 8 ways to maintain our spiritual health, mind, body, soul. Okay, number 1, one more time, connect with our faith, but better yet, know, and that means know thyself. Okay, number 2, volunteering or helping others. And I have volunteered at one time, but I haven't done it in a while. But I'm glad I was able to experience that, because that helps us on our spiritual walk, and it's fulfilling to help others. So that was number 2. Number 3, practice yoga. And I say anything that has to do with meditation, and that would be number 4 too. It's number 3 and number 4. Number 3 is practice yoga, and number 4 is meditate. So those like kind of 2 of the same things, because we all have different walks for brother, sister, young or old, family. But in other words, we're gonna go flip over to number 4. Meditate. That's important, and just don't ask for a lot of things. I always say, just pull down that strength. We have the divine tools already. We just need that strength to maintain them and be able to use them if need be. And I'm talking about righteous tools, that a lot of us have embedded deep in our soul, and it'll come up when we need them. Because when you're on that divine time, when we move like Mother Nature, we don't have to push, but we don't never give up, and we just flow freely, naturally, as a lot of us teachers say. Salute. All right, we're gonna move on over to number 5. Keep a journal, and that's wonderful. And you hear a lot of us like-minded brothers and sisters say this: keep a journal, and I do. And I got a book, I bring it up every now and then. It's called Unlocking the Vault, and I'm up to 35 pages. I call it a book, but it's just pages I've written in a notepad. And at some point, I'll go back and read the pages. I've got past podcasts where I've read little pages here and there, especially on my volunteering videos, because I did talk about the times where I volunteered. I think I did 10 episodes of volunteering in school. So I did speak on it. I might go back. I don't know. Because, I work and stuff. So I had to kind of take time off so I can have a little energy. Because, again, we're talking about maintaining spiritual health, right? Mind, body, and soul. So we have to budget our energy. And I actually learned that from a teacher. Salute, a brother. And so that was number 5. Keep a journal. It's good. And another amazing thing about keeping a journal, it's like when you haven't read it in a while or written in it, and you go back and you kind of go back in date or however long you've been writing it, and look at the different stages of our mindsets. And that's a good way to like stay informed with ourselves, so to speak. And we look at something we have written like on a certain day, like, oh man, I remember I was going through when I wrote that day. And it's the same thing with hip hop. We write rhymes, and I'm sure a lot of artists have done this. Go back to some old songs and something we like, wow. And you just see the different stages and the different mindsets we go through in our lives. So that's why it's good to write a journal. And it, like I said, and I think it helps us to stay afloat, so to speak, and stay stable and, and elevate even higher. So that's good for our spiritual health, keeping a journal. It's like keeping, just keeping tabs on yourself, it's like a spiritual invoice, so to speak, and in our lives in general. Because, we start with ourselves and work our way out. Righteous ripple effect. All right. Number 6, spend time in nature. You hear a lot of us talk about nature. I talk about nature too. And I'll be honest, I just really started learning about nature probably within the last, I'll have to say 2 years. I really have gotten serious and I haven't walked barefoot on the grass yet. I've been wanting to do that because I actually heard that from a great brother, but I want to try that. And learning it is so amazing when we learn ourselves and we learn about nature. And I got podcasts on here where I show in my thumbnail and the banner of nature. My favorite one is the one about the red cardinal. Check it out. It's right here. The title is Nature Can Be Therapeutic. And I'll put that in the end screen. And it shows a picture, of a red cardinal. And my son and I and his brother, I call him my spiritually adopted son. But we went to the park one day and we was coming home and we saw a red cardinal. It was just amazing to see a red cardinal right in front of you in person. So I'll put that in the screen. Just wonderful. And that helps with our spiritual health because it I don't know, it just makes you, appreciate the beauty of life when we study nature. Spend time in nature much as we can. That park we pass by every day. Stop for a minute. I don't care if it's 5-10 minutes. And just sit there and just soak in nature and just take a moment and pause from this life. Because I say, don't let this so-called matrix get us caught in this hamster wheel mentality. So that's why we get in nature. And it keeps us in reality. So we don't get lost in a false sense of reality. So that was number 6. Spend time in nature when we can, wherever we are. Because, as brothers and sisters, we're in different parts of the globe and all over the world. So we near some nature, don't take it for granted. Get in it and spend time in it. And number 8, last but not least, speak to a like-minded brother or sister, family member, or someone we trust, because, as me, myself, I always say I love solitude, but at the same time, I know the importance of connecting with brothers and sisters, family, and because we, at some point or another, we're going to have to interact with the public or people. So, because I work in a restaurant. So, that's why it's good to be a student of human nature. But it starts with self first. And I know we hear that a lot, but when you get up in levels of self-awareness or age, pay attention to our mind, body, and soul. Maintain our spiritual health. Pay attention to it. Focus. We'll understand. I heard that from a great brother, because those who listen to the righteous teachings, not preaching, the righteous teachings of life are usually the most intelligent, and we will have come up with solutions and ways and divine ways to maintain our spiritual health, because that's what this spiritual walk, this divine walk, this teaching and reaching others is what it's all about, to keep us in the best of ourselves and seeking to be greater than we have ever been and pass it on to the youth or those in our circle, our family. It's just wonderful when we finally kind of got things figured out, so to speak. And we finally, after all the layers, finally, because it can be challenging and it take work. It's not nothing that happens overnight. When we finally develop that teaching spirit within and we have comprehend and learn from our past, because that's something I actually written. And like I said, we keep a journal, right? But I call it Unlocking the Vote. And I will be reading that. And matter of fact, I think I'll put it in the end screen. No, I'm not going to put it in there. But I do have podcasts where I'm talking about volunteering in school, as I said. But as I wrote in that book, I call a book, but it's not a book, like I said, it's in a notepad. But as I said in there, we extract the needed tools of the past, but we never ever lag. We use it to empower us. That's why when I first came on, I said that Shaka Zulu spirit, that he didn't have all he had was his heart and his divine abilities, as well as brothers and sisters that stood tall with him. And, I always like to give the advice, set the tone every morning. I don't care if you got a job, you got nothing planned, set that tone every morning. Meditate, as it said in one of those 8 ways I just read. Meditation, again, we all have different walks. I'm incorporating that. But whatever we do to hold our quiet time, hold those quiet times sacred. You don't take advantage of those quiet times. Meditate, pray. But don't, like I said, don't speak a lot. Just suggesting, I always say I suggest, teach, and give advice. So this is just a suggestion. Again, we all are on different walks, different parts of the world, but we are reaching for that same thing, of course. That righteous goal to just be the righteous generals we can possibly be. Not this perfect person, but doing righteous things in the present so we can have a wonderful, wonderful future. Because we all want to win. Everybody wants to win. I'm talking about in our mind, mentally. It's nothing wrong with wanting to win, but let's win for the right things. Let's win for our families, win for ourselves, win for humanity. Be hungry for stuff like that. It's very fulfilling. Like I say, take care of ourselves so we'll be able to teach others, because we can't, do things and teach others. And if we got things going on within ourselves, that's why you always hear me say from time to time, that's for me too, because every day is a learning process. If you got that pineal gland open, and I go back to setting the tone every day, because it's not being paranoid, it's just being ready. Because I say this from time to time, and many of us generals say this: when we stay ready, we don't have to get ready. So my setting the tone is watching, when I'm in the house. I try to get in nature too now, but when I'm in the house, on my TV, I have pictures, videos of nature. And right now I got my 7 warriors I've talked about in the past, and it's just a spiritual meditation videos, and it just shows 7 warriors standing there, and one of them is a sister and the rest of them brothers. And as I said, they got the one brother standing in the front and 3 off to the side, and they standing bold and daring that devil to even think they will ever enter our psyche. The psyche is the battlefield, brothers and sisters. The devil has no place in our psyche. I don't give a damn, no place, small or big. Deflect all discouragement, either from person, place, or thing, and stay strong with thyself. I don't give a damn, because a lot of us have what? Family, children, and significant others. So whatever it takes, brothers and sisters, maintain, do whatever, like the 8 ways, you can incorporate some of that. Go back, rewind this podcast and listen to it. But Don't ever get to a space where we think we're done and we above everybody. No, don't ever get like that, so we don't miss things, and always look above and beyond this so-called matrix, because I want to speak nothing but encouragement and righteous energy to the listeners, current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, brother, sister, young or old, or family, and that's just something I wanted to share, and always have ways to maintain our spiritual health, mind, body, and soul. And brothers all over the world and family, may you have that peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. Salute.